نجيت رياس إليس نماسب شويسف نوتين تاني قوم شو بينمان آمين. For we have no other helper and supporter in our tribulations and adversities but you, O God, make us worthy to pray thankfully, our Father. Now, what did I just say? The translation of it in English is, have mercy on us, O God, the Father, the Pantocrator, all Holy Trinity, have mercy upon us, O Lord God of hosts, be with us, for we have no other helper and supporter in the tribulations and adversities but you. What am I asking God for again? What's the common word? Mercy. Mercy. Why am I asking for God's mercy? Because He's already given us His mercy when He was on the cross and the veil split. He just bestowed upon us His love and mercy. And when we open this veil, which there was no any interaction between humanity and God directly in the Old Testament, because there was a veil, there was separation, there was sin, there was no reconciliation between heaven and earth. And on the cross, our Lord Jesus opened that veil and He allowed us to have direct contact with Him, with God the Father. And this is what we ask for every time we open. So every time you're coming into the church, remember, what will you pray as you're coming in? Psalm 5:7. Psalm 5:7. Remember that. And when Abuna opens the veil, for those of you who are ever here, when Abuna does actually open the veil, which means you're before Abuna, which means it's a miracle that you're here before Abuna. If it does happen and you're here, be attentive and know that this is the moment which cost Him His life, His blood on the cross. This is the moment. Any questions? So I try to give you bits and pieces of the liturgy so that we can understand what's going on. It's not just we're coming here and, let's have fun together. But it's for us to be more aware and attentive of God's work in our life, God's work of salvation in our life. Okay? Now, with this, I am very happy to present our guest speaker, Marianne Youssef, and her husband, Michael, Misho, as I like to call him. He's here with her to support her. You can already see, a good marriage there going on, which is a blessing. Marianne and Misho, they've come all the way from Guildford to spend here tonight with us. Marianne is going to be talking to us about the last talk of the series Inside Out, about conflict resolution. So let us all pray that the Lord speaks through Marianne to each and every one of us tonight. Can you please show her your appreciation?
Can those at the back come towards the front so we can be cozy, and I promise I won't pick on you unless I'm gonna stand whatever you like with. Can you see me over here? Okay, can you see me here? Would you do me a favor and come if you can towards the front?
Okay, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen.
Thanks for coming this Friday night, Tiani. I can see a few familiar faces, which is really nice. And I heard you had a full-on series that was really interesting, because I felt that every topic from the previous weeks added on to the next, and I don't think anyone can live on this earth for that many years and not face decisions about boundaries, emotions, struggle with emotional maturity at times, and then conflict, right? Yeah, I don't, has anyone never doesn't know what conflict means? Is there an angel in here, in this room? No, in this church? Okay, so we've all had to deal with conflict at some point. 1 second, sorry, I forgot my clicker. So if you could do me a favor, can you bring out your phones and just scan this code? Tell me any word that comes to mind when you think of conflict, or when I say conflict. What does that mean? What's the definition? What comes to mind? What did I do now? Oh, ثانية واحدة, can we go back for a second? I don't think. Have you not taken the code yet? Okay. Can we? Okay. Take a minute to just jot down any. How does conflict make you feel? Just write down any number of words you'd like, and then I'll ask Danny, right? Danny, to kindly show us once. Has everyone done it? Scanned the code, everything? Okay, if we can have a look at the results of how we think of conflict. Okay. It's not showing on screen somehow, but a lot of people have said disagreement. Wow, disagreement. Disagreement. Big stuff. Argument, anger, confrontation, upset, frustrated, different opinions. Yeah, confrontation, and yeah, absolutely. Tension, very, very, yeah, wow. Amazing, amazing. Thank you for that. And some people have written it in small, like it hasn't, the algorithm didn't, but very important. It's difficult. Some people feel anxious, feel emotions, feel on the edge, hurt. Yani, although these are somehow little in font, but they are very important. Because when we feel them, it's important to think about them. And that's what we'll try and, with the grace of God, think about how we feel about conflict as we go on. Can we go back? Thank you, Awidani. Okay, so I'll drive. Thank you. Okay. So why does conflict matter? Because we said we'll always face it. It's unavoidable, right? And since we are human beings, we love relationships. And when we have relationships, we have conflict. And a lot of people say that success in life is about having successful relationships. And the supporting argument is, on people on their deathbed, they don't go back and say, oh, I forgot to give a handover to my colleagues at work. Or oh my goodness, I haven't finished this little project I'm doing. People say, I needed to say sorry to someone, actually, that I hurt. Or can I see my children? Or I'd love to tell people I love them more, right? So success in life is determined by success in relationships. And success in relationships is determined by your ability to resolve conflict. Now, conflict, there are few words here. I'll try and juggle things. When it's done this way, conflict, it's combat. When we open our hands and it's done this way, it's connection. When faced with conflict, instead of doing this, we want to do this, okay? Because connection will lead to growth, to understanding, to better relationships, and so on. Okay, so understanding conflict. So we said conflict is natural. So it's when goals, opinions, or needs and expectations clash. Okay, there's this clash. Now, the sources of conflict could be miscommunication. I misunderstood something. I had some expectations and they weren't met. Or there are differences in opinions and, and it could be very simple, you tell me something, I understood it in a different way and I was angry about it, miscommunication. My birthday is coming up, it's not, but it's coming up next week. I'm expecting my friends to make a big fuss, at least if they can't take me out, at least I'll find stories on Facebook, on Insta. Sorry, I'm old generation Facebook. And lots of stories and stuff and songs and things. Or we just happened to bring up Trump and discuss if he's a good guy or a bad guy. People will be, literally pulling their hair, each other's hair, or we're talking about any issue whatsoever. There is an important thing here, okay? Something happens, and I see an observation, okay? I see that my friend saw my text message, left me on red. Ooh, it's blue. The WhatsApp is blue. 2 ticks. Not one, not gray. It's blue. I can see it red. They left me for how many? 3 hours, 4 hours. Oh my goodness. 2 days. Okay. Then what happens is a story starts to brew in my head. Of course. They got to be friends with the new person that joined our, class or whatever, or the company or anything, the group, and now they don't care about me anymore. Starts the story. طبعاً, story like that will make me angry, frustrated. How would it make me? I start boiling inside, okay? And then I decide there has to be a conflict or a combat in that case. Now, there could be 5 F's that I react with, or there could be 5 P's. This action that will come out of that issue and that story, okay, and that feeling, I could either, you've seen the 5 F's, right? Without looking, okay, you've probably seen it. طيب. We know it could be for trauma, it could be for conflict. This 5 reactions: fight, flight, freeze, phone, or flop. Okay? Fight, I'll fight. I'll call that person who ignored my text and I'll give them a peace of mind. Huh? يعني, okay, let me sit here and, I'll have to tell you that I'm how angry I am at you. Or I will flight. Flight is when you just run away or avoid, withdraw, okay? Now, I could also freeze, go blank, can't handle it, Someone says something that's super rude and I can't even respond, I freeze. Or I could start, my manager told me that I'm not doing well. Oh, let me start people pleasing and doing more work and maybe staying up late and apologizing too much. Or I could just flop, shut down and give up. Is any of those reactions super helpful, do you think? Top. Can you guess what could be the 5 P's? There's a mic, please help me out. Yes. Postpone. Okay, good one. What else?
Confrontation.
Confrontation would probably be fight, actually. I want a P. I want a P that would be a bit. Peace. Someone said peace. Thank you. And, sorry, did someone say something here?
Prepare.
Prepare, okay. So, sorry, what did you say again? Postpone and prepare and peace. Okay. There is patience here.
Yeah, that was...
Were you going to say that? Sorry, Chris. I'll give you a hint. What did I say? When we have conflict instead of combat, let's do this. Pray, yeah? That's one other thing. Okay, the words you mentioned are very similar to what I have, but I have a different terminology. Pause. It's like what you said. Just pause. Wait a second. Before I jump to conclusions, before I go and fight or flight or flop or freeze or whatever, let me pause. Let me pray. Ask for guidance. Stop. Ask for God's guidance. What am I supposed to do in this situation? God, please give me insight into what's happening here. And think, what's my true motive? And what's my objective? What am I trying to achieve? Am I just being, am I being clingy? Am I being selfish myself? Am I making up a story in this situation? And then I can proceed while remaining objective and remaining focused that I want that relationship. I don't want to fight. I don't want the combat. I want the connection. I can go and speak to the person peacefully. Someone mentioned peace. I want to proceed, so I pause, pray, process, and then proceed peacefully. Does that make sense so far? Okay. And St. James said, be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. If I do those 5 steps, I'll probably be able to better think about the situation. And the worst thing is to go full-fledged with emotions. Emotions is sometimes like a teenager that doesn't have a driving license, but they want to sit in the driving seat and drive, no matter what. And if you let them, they'll take over. And they will cloud judgment, and they can do serious mistakes. Don't let the emotions drive. They will either control the situation, but you have to control them. You have to accept them, by the way. They are telling you something. They're telling you that you're hurt, that you're angry, that you're upset about something. And I think you've spoken a lot about emotional maturity and so on, but let it take time to pause and to reflect on why am I having that emotion? Probably there's something there was a story behind it and there was a behavior behind it. What was that? How can I handle it better? Because if I go full-fledged with anger, it's not helpful. A gentle answer turns out wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Okay? Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from troubles. Guard our mouth and tongue before speaking and jumping into conclusion. Now, have an exercise for you. I'll show you some examples from people in the Bible, okay? Now you need to tell me, what did they do? Did they fight, flight, freeze, flow, phone, or did they pause, pray, process, and then proceed peacefully? Okay? Cool. Would you like to start? It's Jacob when he tricked Isaac, and fled from Esau. Sorry, your name? Rita. What did Jacob do when he tricked Isaac into giving him the blessing? And, he tricked him because it was supposed to be given to Esau, but he just imitated Esau, and he tricked him into thinking he was Esau. And he blessed him. Then he knew Esau was coming. He knew he would face a very big conflict with his elder brother, who took his right. So what did he do? Do you know the story?
I can't remember it exactly, but I think he fighted, because he argued and he was upset that no?
Not really, okay. Not really, but good guess, good guess, but does anyone have another guess? He fled, which is flight. He just fled. He escaped the situation, right? What happened next? Did he come round to do anything different? Eventually. Could you elaborate a bit?
You mean to elaborate?
Yeah.
He spent a significant amount of time
Exactly.
away, undergone a lot of work. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
And humble and sort of bowed down and apologized. Was ready to be killed, but
Yeah.
it ended up going well.
Did his brother accept him?
Yes, in love. And
He accepted him, and he
embraced him.
And actually, that it was a very lovely reunion at the end of it. But as you say, it took many, many, many years. I'm not sure of the number of years, Abuna, but it might be probably 20 years. Jacob was fled for about 20 odd years. He fled. 21? Exactly. Okay, 3 sevens. So it was a long time. I'm not sure, to be honest, Yani. I don't have an answer. It's just I'm not sure if it was better if he hadn't fled. I don't know. He might have been killed because Esau was probably very, very angry. So it might have been, sometimes it's, I don't know, maybe it's the right thing to do, or in some cases, probably the better thing would have been if he didn't cheat on his brother. But anyway, it's another story. Esther, does anyone know the story of Esther when the king was gonna kill all her people? And does anyone know that story? Can someone say what she did? So basically, the king was gonna eliminate everyone from the people of Israel, and it was because someone had, said the story. Sorry? They plotted, exactly, sorry. They plotted against the people of Israel. And now Esther had a responsibility as the wife of the king. Her, okay. So first of all, when there is a conflict, there's probably a problem or a situation, right? There's an issue here that we have in question. When we put the person as the problem, becomes very difficult. We're probably going to attack that person or have all those reactions and emotions. But if we focus on the issue, not the person, it helps a lot. Now, we need to also, as we mentioned, question our motivation. Like, why am I doing what is my reaction based on? And love, fear is very good thermometer. If it's out of love for the person and for the relationship, becomes very different than if I'm just afraid. So if my friend doesn't answer back, okay, my text, and we said it's on red, oh my goodness, and they never answer back. If my reaction is, I'm concerned, actually they usually answer me back. Oh my God, are they okay? It's out of love. It's very different, and there is an issue here that they're not answering back, but I'm thinking, why could that be? I'm thinking of the situation, not that they're horrible and bad and or am I fearing that, I'm losing friends, I'm not going to be as popular. That's a fear-filled emotion versus love, as in, let me see what's happening here. The other thing sometimes that happens is we are victimizing ourselves and villainizing, or if we make the person a villain, it doesn't help. Again, oh, poor me. Oh, no one answers my messages. Khalas. And then the other person is a villain and they're horrible and they're terrible. Hit someone like that. It will hurt, right? If I come and hit them, it hurts, right? If I put a pillow and then I do this, is it easier? No? Who said no? Yeah, can you, explain why, please? I'd love to hear.
Okay. Simply because you put a pillow there doesn't remove the intention that you had to injure someone. It's still an issue. It hasn't been removed.
Okay, got you. Yeah, good point. I mean, it's very, very valid point, but don't take it as I want to injure. It's I want to express something. Sometimes I need to put that softness. So, for example, let me say I'm angry. I don't want to hit someone, punch them in the face. I'm not saying I'll punch them, but I'm angry about something or I'm upset from a situation. So instead of saying, you are lazy, let's soften it. Let me use the I statement. Okay? Let me say, I feel stressed when chores aren't done or when things are messy. Okay? I'm not, now it's soft. It's saying the message without hurting the person. You know what I mean? It's saying a message, but it's not hurting. Did you have a question? Yeah.
Sorry, shouldn't you be more straightforward when you're speaking to someone, especially within conflict? Because most of the time they will say, like, why didn't you tell me? And so if I'm telling them, oh, I feel stressed when chores aren't done, it's like a general statement of the way I feel. But if I say, I feel stressed when you don't do the chores, I'm not attacking them. I'm just saying what they're not doing. Wouldn't you think that'll be more helpful?
But you still started with the I statement. I feel stressed. You said you're feeling, right? Very valid. Yes, you could say, I feel stressed when you don't do the chores, because I don't like the place untidy or whatever, right? But you didn't attack the person. You didn't call them names. You didn't say like you're very, oh, of course, you're not, you never learned how to do the dishes properly, and that's why you're not doing them. Be straightforward, but be mindful that whatever straightforwardness shouldn't hurt the person, should be gentle. Okay? Do you understand the analogy now in a bit? Is it better? A little bit, okay. Let's not hit. Let's not punch anyway. Okay. We're on the same page here. Okay. The other thing a mindset of going into a conflict, it's different than a match, football match. We expect a winner and a loser, right? We expect someone to win and someone to lose. In a debate, we expect a winner and a loser, or we expect people to try and win the argument. In relationships, we want to look for a win-win mindset. We win together. If I win and you lose, I'm losing. Why is that? Why do you think if I win an argument, and clearly I've erased them, I've given them all the amazing, and we all have, I've fallen so many times. Mishu is laughing, smiling gently in the back, because I've fallen in that many, many times wanting to win the argument, wanting to win the thing. But is it really a win? Why is it not a win? Yes. Exactly. Yeah. If someone wins and the other loses, we've not understood anything in each other. We have not come to a joint conclusion. We've just, okay, one will feel probably really bad, really small, really, and the other will feel that, okay, yeah, they won, they're happy, but how is the connection? How is the relationship? It's a combat. It's just a combat. Now, there is a very important terminology which I love. It's called synergy. Who knows the definition of synergy? We were taught synergy even at business school. They would say synergy is very important part of life. Synergy says, has anyone heard about it? The word synergy? Yeah?
I think it just means that there's two or more people like giving their energy in order to cooperate so that they can, make progress in something.
Absolutely. And 1 + 1, what do they say in synergy? 1 + 1 equals 3. Exactly. 1 + 1 is greater than 2. When in mathematics, 1 + 1 is a no-brainer. It's a 2, right? But in synergy, when we discuss something, if I'm only discussing it on my own, I can reach some conclusion. If the other person is discussing it or thinking of a solution on their own, they will reach a solution. But if we're discussing it together, we will reach a better solution that is better than the sum of the parts. Our efforts will bring about benefits that are better than the sum of the parts. How many times have you ever experienced that in relationships or with friends, with your siblings, that you went into some conflict? Could be an argument, it could be a row, it's an issue, anything, and then actually you sat down, explained points of views and stuff like that, and then you came out with better understanding, a better solution than you could have ever thought of. So this is all to tell us that we need to think of a win-win, a we win together, when we think of conflict. Now, I'm going to give you two points of view, okay? We need to do two things. When we speak, and then what do? Communication with others involves speaking and listening. So we'll speak and we'll listen. When we speak the truth in love. Your name? Mary said, yeah, I need to be direct. I need to express myself. Absolutely. Speaking the truth with love. In love. So maybe starting with the facts, when you looked at my message and you didn't answer back. I felt, that you don't really care about me, maybe, or I felt neglected, and I was a bit unhappy that you ignored my text. Is there what happened? I was a bit, maybe worried about you as well. Is it okay? And what could have led to that? Tell me your point of view, You then stop, listen, and learn. Now, when you listen with respect. No, oh, really? Oh, you didn't have a minute? Oh, yeah. I was really busy. You can't believe how really? Oh, no. Respect the other point of view, because, if you want to ignore or show disrespect, you're actually, again, combating, not looking for a relationship and a connection. And while the person is speaking, just look them in the eye and try and give them your attention, instead of, what do we always do? We try and think of what? At the back of our mind. Sir, don't we try and think of the answer we're going to give back, right? We listen to answer. We're planning our rebuttal of what we will be, defending again our point with. No. And if I need to clarify, just clarify, but don't disrespect, don't focus on what I'm going to say next. Now, Ephesians 4 says, we should no longer be children, but speaking the truth in love, we may grow up in all things into him who is the head, Christ. So, it caught my attention, the beginning of the verse. What does it say? We should no longer be children. That's strange. I thought God was asking us to become like children. Right? Why is he telling us now we should no longer be children, but speak the truth in love? Any ideas, or are you bored and sleepy and it's a Friday night? Anyone has ideas? Yes.
Isn't that just another way of saying don't be childish?
Don't judge.
Like, don't confront the situation in a childish way.
In a childish way. Yes, well done. Don't confront the situation in a childish way. You've never probably seen a child in a supermarket saying to their dad, Dad, it's the beginning of the month. I know you've got a lot to pay this month. The mortgage has grown a lot more expensive. And, today we've come to the school, I've got a trip with the school and it's quite expensive for you. I won't buy any chocolates today. I won't, add to my 100th car that I have. Have you ever seen that in your life? Has that ever happened? Children just go in and say, I don't care. Buy me the chocolate. Buy me the 100th remote control car. I don't care about anything. I don't care about you. I don't care about the relationship. I am gonna do a big fuss in the supermarket and get my way. And I'm gonna win. right? I'm going to cry till I win. So probably since Ephesians, children were doing the same, even though there weren't any supermarkets back then. But the Lord is saying we should no longer be children, but speak the truth in love. We may grow up in all things into him who is the head, Christ. Be Christ-like, he's telling us. Speak the truth with the right attitude, without, this combat, without calling others names and hurting them in an attempt to get back or get straight with someone. In pairs or in threes, like if you're maybe, can you please look at those examples, pick an example, okay, and discuss together how can you speak the truth in love and then listen, maybe act it together or discuss it amongst each other. If you're sitting alone, would you like to, can I give you a few minutes to do that? Think about all we said so far and try, and I hope these are kind of whatever resonates, like real life examples, just have a look at them and see. ايوه كله من
والنهارده بقى سمعت ان في افتر بارتي. بس انا هسأل السؤال عشان تستوي طبعا.
Sorry, yeah, it's absolutely fine. No, it's okay.
Stick to a camera, and I don't like to stick to a camera.
You're good.
Okay, 1 minute. Shall we wrap up كده in our groups? Abuna will start us.
Okay, guys. Thank you. So, while you guys were talking, I went up to Marianne and I told her I have a serious problem with what she has on the screen. What do you think I have a serious problem with? Huh? The first point, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a crazy Egyptian driver. I publicly confess it. And when somebody cuts in front of me, it takes a lot. Either I am dead, so I just cannot retaliate, or I come out of a liturgy and I'm saying, I just prayed a liturgy. I have to forgive him. It takes a lot. But when somebody does cut, you don't have to put it in. When somebody does cut in front of me, I have a problem. So I was telling Marianne, you just exposed me in front of everyone, so I came up to confess publicly. I fall into the sin. Pray for me. And don't cut in front of me.
Has anyone taken this first one? Any group took this first one? Yeah? Okay. How can you answer Abuna and tell him, Abuna, the right response would be?
Didn't expect to get put on the spot like this. Yeah, so we don't know the circumstances of the driver at that point in time. They could I initially came up with excuses. So I was like, that person could be driving their wife to the hospital because they're pregnant, and just accept it. Yeah, and then you rightly said that you're making excuses for them. We don't know what it is, and I just said regardless of that, okay, okay, yeah. But driving, it can be quite a dangerous thing, so it's regardless, the best response wouldn't be to contribute anger to that, because you could compromise yourself and other people, so just forget it, because I'm not going to be able to drive and catch up to them and be like, I love you, like I might cause an accident. So just forgive it and keep it stepping and be thankful you're alive.
Thank you. Yeah. I guess the biggest focus, you should just focus on being safe around that driver. don't get too attached of I feel like we will all get chocolates to the hospitals and give it to the pregnant wife. But it's a nice story and it's very heartwarming because it keeps us a little bit calmer when things happen on the road. My friends forgot my birthday. Who took this one? Yes. Okay.
To be honest, I'm a very empathetic person. And so even if it is a friend that I just met or someone who's really close to me, I would try to put myself in that person's shoes to understand why it is that they haven't reached out or come to my birthday party. Because you never know what could be going on in another person's life. So sometimes you just need to give a bit of grace. Yeah.
Did anyone disagree with you in the group? You all agreed. Oh, beautiful. Oh, okay. Good point. So the first and the second, have you seen that we are trying to change the story? He said, maybe that person is having a bad day. Maybe his wife is going to the hospital. Maybe my friend has something going on in their lives. I don't know what that is, but I can give some slack, cut some slack, give some grace that there is probably something going on that I am not aware of. I don't have all the answers. So that humility is good for us to put us in the right kind of mindset that we don't know everything and we can't be judges of every situation. Can take a step back and think about it. Argument with a coworker or someone you're in a project or something in uni, for example, who didn't finish their part. What are you going to tell them? How are you going to react? Did anyone take this? Yeah.
So, I mean, this happens all the time at work, and I find myself getting really annoyed. But I'm a very direct person. I like getting to the solution. So for me personally, I'd kind of say to them, like, why haven't you done it? And then if it's something that's, if there's actually a reason, then, I think if you're in a team with someone, you need to try and help them so that they're back on track to do future things, So try and maybe talk to them, have empathy in a situation. And if they don't have a valid excuse or a reason, they're just being lazy, then I think people need to be held accountable for not delivering on their actions. So yeah, go in with an open mind and have grace. But if it's out of sheer laziness, then maybe let them know how it's negatively impacted you. And if they don't have empathy for you, then that's their bad, yeah. And then not to work with that person again.
Yes, find maybe other solutions, but very good points, appreciate it. And actually telling them what happened, why are you late, is actually, it's good because you didn't call them names, did you? You didn't say, for example, you're lazy, You're trying to find out why they did that. Obviously, if it's out of laziness, then there would be different measures. We're not trying to let people go of their responsibilities, right? We're not like, if someone's committed to doing something, they should be held accountable, And if they mess up in something, they should have consequences to it. So it's by no means just giving everyone it's okay if they didn't do their part in the project, I will do it for them. No, absolutely not. But the approach it's really good. Even though you're saying you're direct, but very pleasant direct. So why not, right? Okay, a friend doesn't respond to, we've exhausted. Has anyone taken that again? I think we've exhausted this example. I see my friends have gone out. Obviously, I see it on Instagram and on Snapchat and on all sorts of social media. My friends have gone out and they've not told me about it. And I was maybe with them at uni that morning. Anyone took this example? No? Okay. It's not a problem? Or is it sometimes? Is it a problem or not? Should I get upset if my friends went out and they didn't tell me about it? Is it something to be even upset about? Is that like a conflict? Or is it a man-made conflict? Sometimes conflicts could be in my head almost. Something I've come up with as a conflict. No one has done anything wrong to me. No one has bothered me or said anything disrespectful or anything, but it's just that my friends have gone out without telling me. Is this actually a conflict? Who would say this is a conflict? Okay, few hands. Yeah? This could be a conflict. Okay. It's upsetting. Okay, and who doesn't think it's a problem? A few more don't think it's a problem. So, why do you think, Iman, it's a...
it could be upsetting because you might feel left out. Like, why are they not asking me? So then you might question the friendship. And so I don't know if that's a conflict or if that's, but there are negative emotions attached to it.
Yeah, okay. And those who don't think it's upsetting, anyone doesn't think it's upsetting? Or have we decided it's upsetting?
I think it depends on the environment and situation, because certain people, maybe your friends might know you don't want to go to certain places, so they won't even bother inviting you. Or if it's just something like that, like maybe they thought you wouldn't have enjoyed it, so they didn't invite you. You need to look at those type of things as well, not just directly go to, oh, why didn't you invite me? Or feeling left out. Like sometimes just see what the actual thing was and then judge it after that.
Yes, true. I think I agree. It could be actually, it really depends. I can't say it's definitely upsetting, it's definitely not upsetting. You know, some people, if you don't care about them, or, you know, if they're not very close friends, who cares? They went out together, or halas, it's fine. But for others, for example, I was just with them. They didn't say they were going out, I just came home. But I could have said, I'm actually tired, guys, I'm going home. So they thought I was tired. So they went out without me. Maybe, yeah. So it really depends. But then if I just hold the grudge and next time I fight, I go and fight, or I ignore them, خلاص, next time they see me, I'm like walking and I'm like, are you talking to me? You're still my friend, so don't you remember last week what you've done? No, if it's really upsetting, go and speak. Come tell me, Marianne, why didn't you tell me? You knew I was going to go out. Come on. So you would go and speak to the person or handle it if it's really upsetting. But we can't say it should always upset us. My sister said, or my brother said something rude weeks ago. Has anyone taken this? One? No? My parents keep nagging me to do chores. Has anyone taken this one? No? Okay. I'll tell you what you have to do when your parents nag you to do chores. Do them. Because I have two children your age, and I'd like it if I ask them to do them. Do them. Just do them. Okay? Don't argue. Don't confront. Okay. I will leave you with one. We don't have time for that, but this is a really nice story. It's 1 Samuel 25. It has 3 characters: King David, Abigail, and Nabal. It's a beautiful story about some issue, conflict. Someone was really foolish in reacting. Someone was really wise. Try and find who was wise, who was foolish, what happened, and think about it. If you want a nice reading tonight before bedtime, 1 Samuel 25. What is it? 1 Samuel 25. Okay? Got that? Okay. Just the last point I want to just touch on, because we can't speak about conflict without really speaking about forgiveness in a way. Because conflict could have, negative emotions or issues. And if we go in life holding to those grudges, those hurts, it's really painful. And the reason we need to forgive is not because we're kind-hearted and just from the kindness of our hearts, because we're so big, we're bigger than the situation, we're going to forgive. It's because we were forgiven, okay? And we were forgiven when we were foolish, when we're doing wrong stuff, we're wronging God, we are doing wrong towards God every single day in different ways. So we have been forgiven and we need to forgive others. But I want to ask you to tell me first quick true or false, because there are misperceptions about forgiveness, okay? True or false? A person should not be forgiven until he or she asks for it. Forgive me, please forgive me, kind of thing. False? Why?
I think because sometimes you won't get an apology, and you need to just learn to be able to let go and move past without that.
True. Yeah. We don't always get an apology. If someone violates you or someone hurts you or someone the car issue, crosses and causes something like, causes damage to your car or yourself, or sometimes you don't get that apology. They can run off, but we give forgiveness because we want to give it, because it's a deliberate action. Now, second, true or false? Forgiving includes minimizing the offense and making excuses for the offender. Oh, he didn't mean to. False. Why?
I've already spoken. Oh, okay. You should. Go ahead. Okay. What was it? Minimizing the offense, or don't excuse what they've done. They've committed wrong. They've sinned potentially there. So it's important to acknowledge the wrong, because if you minimize it, you could numb yourself to how bad it is and allow it from other people into yourself. So forgiveness takes something is significant. What you're doing there, what they've done is significant, and that's why the forgiveness is significant. So, no, you shouldn't minimize that.
And now, forgiveness includes restoring trust and reconciling the relationship. True or false? Forgiveness includes restoring trust and reconciling the relationship. False. And what's the key word? Reconciling the relationship and restoring trust. No, you can forgive and you don't have to restore trust. Not now, at least. Not suddenly. Trust is gained. Trust is earned. The person needs to show you that they're trustworthy. But you can forgive. But then you could be cautious as well. You haven't really forgiven until you've forgotten. Do you have to forget? No. You don't have to forget. You remember, but you choose to forgive. You know who hurt you. You identified who hurt you. You determined what they owe you. they owe you the apology, they hurt you in such and such, but you cancel the debt. It's like, you know, I've lent you 10 quid, you know, you owe me 10 quid, right? I know you owe me, and I can't say, yani, it might be not 10 quid, it is 10 quid, and you owe me, and you took it, and I gave it to you, or you took it from my purse, or whatever. But I cancelled it. خلاص. I consciously said, you don't owe me anymore. خلاص. Okay? Cool? مبسوط? خلاص. Dismiss the case and let go of bitterness. I shouldn't wake up every morning remembering and torturing myself that I lost those 10 quids or I gave those 10 quid. خلاص. And why is that? Forgiveness helps me before it helps anyone. Because it just helps me, and it's a great gift I can give myself. Let all bitterness, those who live in unforgiveness would be bitter, wrath, angry, evil speaking probably. But if we forgive one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. So let's remember a few things quickly, because it's time. Instead of combat, we want connection. Instead of the 5 F's, don't want F's, we want the 5 P's of pausing, praying, processing, proceeding peacefully. Okay? Listening with love, truth in love, and, speaking truth in love, and listening attentively with understanding and empathy. And finally, if you're able to forgive by the grace of God, not by our own efforts, but by the grace of God, then that's a great gift you're giving yourself and others. Thank you so much for your...
Thank you very much, Marianne. Unfortunately, we're out of time for questions, but I will ask Marianne to stay around for 2, 3, 5 hours. If you have any questions, you can catch her downstairs. Just 2 quick points that Marianne mentioned, and I just want to make sure that we are aligned. There are times when we are always thinking of conflict and wanting to confront,